Welcome to Dreamweaver Stories, where dreams come alive through inspiring journey. I'm your host, Jenny Jinju, author of Dreamweaver and entrepreneur who built over $100 million business from a humble beginning as a nanny. I know how scary it is to dream big and how hard it is to make those dreams real. On this show, please follow me traveling the world to meet incredible women, dreamweavers, who have turned their visions into reality. Together, we will share their stories to inspire women and younger generations to dream boldly and walk their path with courage. Because when we dream together, anything is possible. Welcome to the Dreamweaver Stories. Today, I have my dear friend, a true global citizen and a trailblazer in storytelling, branding, and leadership, Kathy Sheehy. Kathy has lived and worked in some of the world's most vibrant cities, including Singapore, Tokyo, Paris, Washington, D.C., and Hong Kong, and many more. So from her beginning as a fashion stylist and editor at her World magazine to spearheading the digital branding project for global giants like Coke, Shell, and MasterCard, Kathy has been at the forefront of innovation and creativity. So now, as the founder of a tech startup, Kitty Cat, she is revolutionizing the visual branding to elevate global commerce and the brand equity. So beyond her professional achievements, Kathy is a mother of four, a passionate leader within the YPO global community, where she has built the deep connections and championed women leaders worldwide as the past chair of the YPO Women's Business Network. So Kathy, your journey is a testament to the power of creativity, resilience, and global perspective. I'm so excited to dive into your story and share your insight with the Dreamweavers community. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm honored and so grateful to be here.
So, Cassie, your career has taken you across so many this such a great cities, Singapore, Tokyo, Paris, all these cities. I'm so jealous. Can you telling us your journey from the beginning as a stylist and just how did you get in here? Just give us some of these stories.
Definitely. So I kind of started as a stylist and I was very lucky and I'm actually still very grateful. The job that I was given was to really travel around the world to create visuals. So at a very young age, when I started as an intern in the magazine, I was sent to Israel in Tel Aviv. And I then later joined the company. I got sent to Kenya, Manchester, Paris to do shoots in Japan. But it was really hard work, but it was really good. I had a lot of fun. Brought carry the clothes and bring the models and do everything. And I saw the world and I really, really embraced it and enjoyed it. And I thought it gave me a great vision of how people live, what do they do? And that's what really kind of, drives me. I'm just excited to meet new people.
So you have worked on a lot of the big branding project for global giants like Coke, MasterCard, Shell. What has been the most challenging project in your career? How did you, navigate?
I think every project is challenging. I worked through a Ogilvy. I was in agencies and I think people are always the most challenging all around, either understanding what they want and being able to navigate and articulate. And I think listening, being a creative sometimes is very difficult because we have very kind of defined ideas about what we think works because everything is like an artist is very subjective. But over time, I do believe that, a good designer, a good creative, a good brand person listens. And no matter what the challenge is, you should be able to help the brand tell the right story. And not just that because you can tell the right story, but you also need to convince people, from the brand that, you know what you're doing and how do we collaborate and listen to them. So I think listening, being very humble and, understanding where they come from and then bring in our creative view to be able to try and help them tell the story better.
Yeah. So when and how did you start your dream as an entrepreneur and what is really inspired you to start that?
The truth is, I've always been following my mom. So my grandparents had a business that was selling crocodile skins. So like, like in the, like say all the big brands, they use a lot of skins like crocodile, alligator, snake skin. So my mom ran that business for my granddad, when she was, helping him in the business. And then later, my mom started her own business and at retail stores. So I've always
That's
been
in
surrounded by
Singapore.
business in Singapore. And when she comes home, she talks about the business. When I finish school, I go to the shop to help her. So I think it's not like it's just osmosis. It's just, being there and I listen to it. So, but then the thing is, I had a creative side. So when I went to do creative, I really, really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I knew that, at some day I wanted to come back to doing business. And when the opportunity started, for me to kind of run a wine business and they had retail stores and it was about branding, storytelling. So I just thought, oh my God, it combined everything together. And that's where I learned about business. Yeah. And then later the hard truth comes because it's no longer just about the creative work. It's about managing people, having a lot of challenges, firefighting. So yeah, so the reality
The good
comes in,
stuff.
like we all know what is the reality of the business. Yeah, so I think that's where I think every business owner face, so it's nothing new. And I think, yeah, we have to be resilient to kind of keep going on that journey.
So when you kind of run the business, the wine business, the how old are the kids? You have four kids, right?
Yeah. I think it's yeah, traveling around the world. So I had my first child when I was working in the agency in the US in DC. So there was child number one. That's 22 years ago. Then child number two came when I was in Hong Kong, working for another agency as well. And then three and four was when I came back to Singapore. So I think, us being, working women, trying to create a family, obviously time, is not on your side, right? You kind of get it going. So you try to make everything work, like I think the other day I thought it was really interesting. A lot of people said, progress compounds, and I can't remember which video I saw. And I thought it was very inspiring because sometimes life is so strange. You have this big vision and I want to go for that big vision. But sometimes when the vision is too big, you get nervous and you kind of, so like sometimes I feel like when I was in my 30s to 40s, I really took things as it came and I just kept going, like, having the kids, trying to build the business, being a good daughter, being a good daughter-in-law. I just kept going, So I think, and then I think progress compounds, right? It gets to a point where the kids are older, I have the business, I have, experience, I learn. So I think that's quite self-reflective and I really kind of like, am grateful for all the opportunities I've been given.
So like in the Dreamweavers community, there's a lot of like moms. I think it's sometimes it is overwhelming and juggling, the mom and the demanding of the business. What would you tell them, like, based on all these years, some like experience and wisdom, what do you would tell them?
My experience is find your tribe and find your people. Every time I go and surround myself with women like yourself, Jenny, and all the other women friends that we know that run businesses and have kids and super successful, IPO, travel the world, they can do it and they still show up and they still come with a smile and they're still supportive and just surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with great people that you want to be, and that you aspire to. That's what I feel like has helped me,
Yeah. And also
aspire to them.
we're venting, right? We're complaining. I know we talk
Yes,
about
we share.
we're not
Yeah.
perfect. And it's
Yeah, we're
like,
not perfect. And yeah, and you kind of feel like, oh my God, they're perfect. But actually, everybody has similar issues. Everybody has all these things, So
yeah.
I just think there's all these women. That's why Dreamweaver is amazing because I think we all actually have very similar journeys that we can actually share and inspire, and learn from each other's failures. And you come out feeling great again. And I can do it, I feel good. So I think whether it's like, sharing failures, sharing successes, I think both ways is just pushing forward and making you really self-aware and be a better person.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like it's just be okay with, it's sometimes we just have the guilt. Oh my God, I would be the best mom. But it's like, I talked to Alexia the other day, is that you cannot be everybody everywhere at the same time. So sometimes we just have to, setting the priority and give us some grace and, be okay about
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah, I think a lot of grace, like, and then the other thing that I learned a lot about from some other women as well is that, you catch the balls, right? You catch the balls that
Hmm.
would break first because there's just so many balls in the air and you're
Hmm.
constantly trying to catch the one. So you just need to focus on the one that may break first. You have to pick that one up first, right? And how many balls can you handle? So like
Hmm.
some will just keep floating and let it float away and I just can't get to it. And then I
Hmm.
think the other one that's very interesting is called let them theory, and
Oh
somebody
my
shared that
God,
with me
yes.
about like, there's some things that you can't control. You pick the ones that
From
you can
Mel
control. Some you
Robbins,
just,
yes.
yes, exactly, Mel Robbins. And you just have to, let them, get on with it, right? I have my kids, I've got my mom, my in-laws, the business, people, my colleagues, and my investors, just so many people. So if
Yeah,
I think of it all at once, I think I'll be very overwhelmed.
you're gonna go
For
crazy.
me, yeah, what's inspiring is with Dreamweaver, I think I'm going to meet other weavers that would, surround myself with great people, dreamers. If I can in any way give back, I think it's a great way for me to meet other dreamers. And if I can, how would I say, if there I would be able to help, I'm always very happy to help because I've been through it myself and I've been through how, failures and successes and everything. And it's the people around me that actually supported me. And I hope to
Hmm.
be able to do the same. So
Yeah.
if there was dreamers out there that needed kind of, me to be
Hmm.
sharing and just being there, or even just sometimes things, life has no solution. Just even having a coffee
Yeah.
made me feel
Yeah.
better. Like with,
Yeah.
sometimes I come and have coffee with you.
Yeah.
It just made me feel better. I talk it through. I articulate my issues, my concerns, failures, worries, anxieties. That in itself already kind of pushed me forward. It's
It's so
progressive.
important. Yeah, it's
It's
like
progression.
I still miss our coffee time in New York. I think it's such, with just talking about it with like, all the experience we've been through. And I think that's gives so much the power to the dreamers because they knew they're not alone. And every day, no matter how successful now, like, in our community now, you all go through. It's really every day. You're grinding. You use that grit, you use it's the same thing. I mean, and we all fail or like a here and a there. As a mom, as a business entrepreneur, I feel like we talk about this, like kind of like a normalize the challenge and
Yeah.
the everyday struggle. It's not like magically we're gonna just from there like come here today. It's just
Yeah.
like it's a real.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
every
And that
day.
brings me to this speech, the graduation speech at Dartmouth where my daughter went to. Roger Federer about the tennis and he talked about like how people commented like, oh, you play so effortlessly. And he just says nothing in life is effortless. He said he gets upset when people say it's effortless. And the truth is, he said you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't put in the hours and if you're not determined and resilient, and want to
Never
succeed and
give
want to
up.
go for it, yeah, never give up, go through all the failures and stand up again and be resilient. Yeah, nothing is effortless. But he's like, then now you reflect back and maybe like when people think you look effortless, maybe that's a good thing. But actually for me that
After hours and hours of the grinding, you make you look like that way.
exactly, and Malcolm Gladwell has this you want to be good at anything, you need to put in 10,000 hours. So that's what I tell the kids, right? You can be like, you're born with it, you're talented, but I know talent can only take you so far.
There is the hard work, grit, and the
Grit.
resilience. That's
Yes.
like one step after another is all the good stuff.
That's why we need a community. That's why we need to be, hanging out with people, that have done this before, people that want to do better so that we can lift each other up, so
Yeah.
that we can support each other,
Yeah,
and
I
then I
remember
just
like
think it's
early
amazing.
days, when I did the business, I just feel sometimes it's so personal. You just feel, oh my God, why this happened to me? Is it just like you just getting so frustrated? But if I hear this story for my younger self, I would feel so much better. Feel, oh, this is not like a personal. This is just like every woman you pick choose this entrepreneurship or like that's just normal. But we
Yeah.
But it's
Jenny, your
very
story is
challenging.
very inspiring.
Oh,
Really.
thank you.
Oh my God. I don't even
We
know
all have a
how
good
you did it.
story.
Yeah. Oh, your story is just like, yeah. So when the first time, I heard your story, and what's it's so funny is that everybody that meets you is like, did you hear Jenny's story? And I'm like, yes, super
You know,
inspiring.
every time I've been talking to, you guys, there's so many things, I learned from everybody. I think it's like all our story weaved together give like so much power to this community. So when did you start as a kitty cat?
I started about 2.5 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a little bit scary
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to start something from 0 to 1. And,
That's after the
you
wine
know,
business.
yes, after the
Yeah.
wine business. And I wanted to kind of like say, I, I kind of want to kind of define the journey. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be able to build from 0 to 1. And I know that 99% of people, who have a lot of businesses don't succeed. But I want to kind of say that I tried. I'm
Mm-hmm.
passionate, driven, I want to get there. And I know that there is a problem to solve. And, can I put my mind to it? And, with all my experience, can I try to do this? So, yeah, so it's a fearful journey. But at the same time, there are days that, successes and failures. And like I said, being able to articulate, being able to surround myself with great people, that have done it all, that also have lots of failures has just really propelled me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's where Kitty Cat, as being a startup, you try and do everything and you bootstrap, and every day
Mm-hmm.
there's always different challenges. And I used to like dream of this world that, there'll be no challenges, never go away. I'm an optimist. I keep thinking, oh, it'll be better, but yeah, it's all coming. But this time I'm a little bit more intentional because I
Mm.
think I'm surrounded by people that have done it before. When I talk to them, they give me bites, knowledge, nuggets, and it plays back in my head. And I feel like, okay, Jenny did this, Alexa, and they went through this, be cautious of that. So I think all these nuggets of experiences from the people
Mm-hmm.
I meet and all these great women has given me a lot of ideas, and I'm more intentional about what the decisions I make.
So, like, for you, since you like did this, recently, what is like the advice you give to the dreamers? I know there's a lot of dreamers who wanted to start the business or they just started the business. What is like, advice you give to them?
I don't dare to say it's advice, but I think for me is like, if you have a dream, go for it, live it. You only live once. And try and do the best and go for your dreams and go get it. There's nothing out there that is impossible. I think at least you try. So I
Yeah,
could now
yeah,
kind of, say I did try. I'm gonna give my best version. I'm surrounding myself with the best people, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to have grit, keep going and try
yeah.
this. Rather than sitting back and complaining and being unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
I think, also facing your fears, is important, because when you face your fears,
Mm.
it's you confront your fears. That's important.
Yeah. And
Being
then
able
sometimes the
to,
people say, it's like you don't want it to, is too late. You regret you never done. It's so much worse than you fail. At least you fail, you try it, right? And later,
yes,
if like you see, oh my God, I never tried. A lot of people actually they say in the end, the regret is not what they have done, it's what
yeah,
they never try.
yes, exactly, exactly. And sometimes I think, when you get a bit older and you see a lot of people fail, I think the fear of failure is less important now, because I think when I was younger, and of course coming from an Asian background, the fear of failure paralyzes me. It's always better to be status quo. It's always better to just show that you're super successful. You have a very big business, great revenue, everything is good. But now I just kind of think like, I'm a bit older now. It's okay. We need to be authentic. Not, I mean, not everybody's life is perfect, like what they show on social media, right?
Yeah,
Beautiful place, beautiful holiday. That's not true reality. We all know that. So I think, yeah, being able to be authentic and, and know that, failure is just part of life, right? And as long as you can be resilient and bounce back again, I think, it's okay. I become
It's worth
stronger.
trying. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
why I feel like this chat is so good because in our community we have so many inspiring women and
So
we
many.
live we're just like moms, like we the maybe the house is messy, we go through the messy life, here and then there, and it's real. It's not like, oh my God,
It's
suddenly
real.
you wake up, you're glamorous, everything is perfect on the social media. I mean, like, no, we struggle, we stumble. I mean,
Yeah.
we go through so many messy stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. It's real. Like what you say, it's
It's real.
real.
Life is real.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur is real. It's all crazy. So
Yeah,
let's talk about it
exactly.
like a YPO and the women. So you being such a force in the YPO community, and you being such a champion for women leaders. Especially I think you being a chair in the YPO Women Business Network. How many women entrepreneurs in the YPO community, and what do you see? Why you are so passionate, and what do you see, and how you think about the YPO community? And I just feel like I want to, people know more about the YPO and about the women in the YPO.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, so I kind of like stumbled upon like, YPO and like, I joined in my 30s and then, I got to meet it. I call it like a life MBA. I'm meeting like all these business people, men and women from all over the world that are like, running business, doing a lot of things, hyper successful, lots of failures. And then within the YPO, there's a women's business network, and there's about 3,500 women that run businesses from different countries, different parts of the world, different types of businesses, different size, but they all run businesses, moms and not moms and whatnot. And I find it so inspiring because like, they all have, you know, high potential. They're very resilient, lots of grit, and they're so willing to share. They're so willing to help and share their stories, successes and failures, right? And so real. So for me, I learned so much from them. And so I'm very happy to give back. And not just because I learned so much from them, but I just want to share them with lots more people too.
Yeah, you
Because,
have been such a connector. I've been like, met so many impressive women through you. So I like,
because you are also impressive. So I have to bring
thank you.
you to show them, like, look at what Jenny did.
So I think, in the society, sometimes a lot of people think women is really not aligned together. We don't support each other. I think, kind of like in the YPO community, I mean, I'm not say 100%, but the majority of the women is really supporting. So how do you like, why do you believe it's so important for the women to amplify their voice and create a supportive this network for each other?
I don't think particularly like there's a men or women thing. I think, in general, I think we're all really supportive and, because we all have a kind of like a understanding of like, who we are and what we do and, being very authentic, coming together, being able to share stories, and successes and failures. I think, that's where I feel like we really connect. And I think when we're authentic and when we're real, we kind of like, it's just, I just feel very close, to most of like my other YPO friends because, we just understand we have so much going on and being able to have this community to be there to support you is so important. And I wish the same for everybody. So like,
Yeah,
for example, with Dreamweaver, I think what you're trying to create, a community that can support dreamers and other women and being inclusive and having a global perspective, and you have all these weavers coming together. I just think it's also creating another type of community, a very supportive community to
yeah,
elevate women. I think when you have self-confidence, you see what other people can do, it really propels you forward. And I think what better to be able to give back in this way,
yeah.
right?
It is contagious sometimes, is when we're
Yes, I love
talking
the
about
word.
it. right? It's like you
Yes.
see, one mom to another, one mom, one woman entrepreneur to another, because you find it so much familiarity. It's just so we have similar challenges. We have similar from like different like the expectations, all the things, and I think we have the unique challenge and a unique perspective. That's why, when you share, it's just so powerful because the perspective is so similar.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think, in life, having mentors, coaches, and people around you, to support you is so important. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
important, right? It's so important. And that's what I try to do with my kids as well. Because I'm grateful because my mom and my parents, and my in-laws, they've always been very supportive. So I think being able to be I'm grateful, being in an environment, from a work perspective, from peers perspective and family perspective, you have the support. And I think when you have the support, you feel secure, you feel that you can do it. So if we can in any way give back that support to people that need it, I'm very happy to do that and spend time and give them that support.
That's so nice of you.
Oh,
So, of the thing is like, when we're talking about it at this stage, have been, you have done so much and you have to run different business. And I think from like, we all getting some wisdom. So what is like, would you, if you tell your younger self one thing, what would you tell her?
I got so many things to tell myself. I think my younger self, I think I should listen more, and be more, how would I say, be more open to advice when I was younger. I think when I was younger, I was less open, but over time, I'm more open to learning and listening because when I was younger, I was quite driven on certain things that I feel I'm right. So yeah, so that would be something that I think I would need to listen more, and give other people a chance, yeah.
Yeah, the listening is one of the really big character of a leadership and so important. So like
So
some
hard. It's so hard.
yeah, so hard. All right, let's have some fun things. So obviously you've been into so many cities. What is the one city you lived in that you would move back in a heartbeat?
Japan, Tokyo.
Tokyo.
But then at the same time, I used to think, but that was like my younger self, and we didn't have kids.
Yeah.
We just had so much fun. But, but that was like the great memories. But I don't know if now we go back at the stage, I'm not sure. But still, Tokyo had yeah, we had a really great time.
So like, obviously like especially in the first few years of the new business and you gonna hit a lot of walls, a lot of chaos, a lot of challenge. What is your, go-to self-care practice when you need to recharge?
My self-care practice, yeah, so, very kind of like, nothing really special, like, my massages, my reflexology, and also going to the gym. And I also like kickboxing. So I've got two sides, right? I love kickboxing to kind of like get all the energy out and, frustration and anger. So I won't, I'm human, right? I have, I get angry and I get
Next
upset.
time
So
we're with you together, have to be careful.
yeah. So I have like, yeah, my boxing instructor, and then I'll be like, yeah, kick, 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 kick. And then after that, I feel like, okay, everything is released.
Feels so much
Or then
better.
I have like the massage way, which is like, just go and relax and not think about anything. And then the other thing I'm trying to do more of is through my foreign mate and a lot of my friends in YPO is sleep. They keep telling me because I don't sleep enough, right?
Oh, you
I don't know,
definitely
like
don't
they keep
sleep
saying,
enough.
I know with all the time change and like, trying to do my work and do everything. Yeah, they keep telling me that I need to go to bed earlier. So
Have you watched that movie, The Eat, Pray, Love?
I think I watched it a long time ago, but yeah,
Yeah,
remind me, what
yeah.
would you like me to think about?
Yeah, it's so funny. I ask everybody. I just want to have fun with it. Like, let's say if there's like, eat, pre, love is like, if you pick one city, you would go there, you just love the food to eat. And you pick one city, you think it will be like you love for your spiritually. And the love, the one, obviously you can have the romantic love or you can have self-love. That's the third city. So what are these three cities you would pick?
For me, okay, eat would be Japan again,
Uh-huh.
Japan definitely. For meditative, and I think for meditative, I think Bali, any of these resorts where I can just kind of like switch off, like even like, I think my girlfriend is going to Bhutan today. So places like that, Bhutan or one of these, kind of places that is kind of quite remote would be not, maybe not Bali, Bali's a bit too, but, maybe Bhutan, places like that where I can totally switch
Oh.
off and be close to nature. I realized that when I was in the summer, I was driving in the US and I drove, from San Francisco, I think, to Salt Lake City. I went through a lot of like the desert and stuff, and being able to see nature and close to nature really calms me down, actually. I felt the
That,
difference.
yeah, yeah.
Like there's absolutely nothing, there's, no buildings, nothing that is this distraction. And I went to bed early, so I just thought, wow, yeah, okay, being close to nature helped me a lot, and, definitely, and walks and stuff like that. So I have to take time out to do those things. In terms of eat, pray, love, love.
Yeah.
Love is anywhere that my family is, when I'm with, my husband, my kids, anywhere, I feel a lot of love, to be together with them. And yeah, so for me, going away on my own, every time I just want to kind of be with my family most of
That's
the
gonna be
time.
Singapore, I guess.
Singapore or like, my kids, some of them are in
Ireland.
US and UK and Ireland. So yeah, so being with them, brings a lot of joy and love. Even though some days I get upset, but the upset stems from loving them and, being together as a family, So yeah,
Right.
so I think love is where my family is.
It's so funny, and I've been talking to all these friends, right? And I think we can really do a eat, pre, love trip because we definitely
Yeah.
overlapping a lot. Is we already put the friends, we already put
Yeah.
like either like for the pre, like
Actually, it's true. I
Bhutan,
like that. Yeah.
Bali, India, all these different places.
Yeah.
It's like yeah,
It
definitely.
could be like a yearly retreat of a eat, pray, love retreat,
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
So that's
So
kind of
you kind
every
of
time
like,
I
that's
ask you
actually
the
love it.
stories. So in the end, we're gonna use it as a survey, and then we're gonna do this trip.
Yeah, I think that's good. Or every year you focus on one. The
Yeah.
one is like what eats, and then after that next year is like, pray. So it's
Right.
like, and then the next one is love. So and then you rotate.
Right.
So that could be
That's
fun. Yeah.
yeah.
But I think I go on a lot of eating stuff because now that you're older, as a lot of people are always like, come, let's eat this, let's try that. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I think the eating one I do quite a lot of. Yeah. I think the one that I don't do enough is the pray, more meditative, calming
Yeah.
myself down and being able to think. And yeah, so that one is very intentional. And that's why I love, being, going on some of the retreats because I wouldn't
Yeah.
normally do it. So like if
Yeah.
you plan it, I will go,
Yeah.
but you say, oh, Kathy, just go do this yourself. And it just never crosses my mind. So that's why
Right.
when the plan retreat, and if you're doing it, I'll definitely come. Yeah,
That would be
because
so
I know
cool.
it's
So
going to
I'm
be
getting all
amazing.
this idea from everybody. Then we're gonna do one. That we'll see.
Absolutely. Can't wait. And I can't wait to be surrounded by dreamers and weavers. I think,
It's awesome.
it's almost like sometimes I think you do these things and then it gives you like a boost, it makes you, it's like it takes you out of your like crazy life and then like you go in and then you feel inspired,
Recharge.
you're inspiring other people and then yeah, recharged, and then you go back again to do your, continue your life
Yeah.
and then you come back and recharge again. So I think, yeah, very, very much necessary. So I'm looking forward to your community and being part of it.
That's awesome. And here we have Cassie. And thank you so much, Cassie. And I think you're going to be getting people from like the Dreamweaver community. They're going to be so inspired by you. And we had so much fun.
Thank you, vice versa. And, definitely, send them on, and I just can't wait that we're going to have this global community of dreamers and weavers together. Yeah, I just can't wait to kind of connect and like, meet all these great people already that you are kind of like meeting and, so thank
Yeah.
you very
It's,
much. And thank you
it's,
for
I'm
your
so lucky to
vision.
be able to have all these friends like you. And I'm so looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
And thank you for being so authentic and always sharing and, being such a wonderful person, Jenny. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassie. All right.
Okay.